Hi there and welcome to Have a Seat. This is the place where we dive into addiction, mental health, and LGBTQ plus stories that matter. I'm Manny Rodriguez, your host, and today we are calling on our allies, our LGBTQ plus allies. In January of 25, we were sent on a whirlwind in our country, especially if you are in an immigrant community or a part of the LGBTQ plus community. Every day there is another disruption in the lives of marginalized people. To be completely honest, it has put me in fear over and over again. Through all of this, I have tried to remain centered and not reactive. I have not spoken out primarily due to not knowing how to respond. I have asked myself, is my being silent complicit? Have I become numb to the daily onslaught of damaging policies? What do I say? Who do I direct it to? And how? What issue do I give my attention to? And how do I add hope to a moment that seems bleak for so many of us? The month of June was a tipping point for me, with the announcement that the National Suicide Prevention Hotline for LGBTQ+ was being eliminated. On July 17th, the LGBTQ support option on the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline officially ended, thanks to the Trump administration. However, a new partnership with the Trevor Project has been put in place. Governor Gavin Newsom and the California Health and Human Services Agency announced that they would provide the state's 988 crisis counselors enhanced competency training from experts, ensuring better attunement to the needs of LGBTQ youth. Again, thank you, California, for stepping in. Sometime after the elimination of the hotline was announced, I was tuning into Jennifer Welch and Angie Pump Sullivan's I've Had It podcast. They both spoke passionately about how cruel this was.
I have 4 decades. I have died on that hill, and I will always die on that hill because I think it is so weak and so cruel to pick up a marginalized population that is in pain, that probably spends many nights in their bed in the fetal position crying, and they think suicide might be the answer, and your government shutting down the hotline. It is an absolute total disgrace. And every American that has one of these triple Trumpers in your life who want to play like they're open-minded at parties and they vote for shit like this, call them the fuck out and draw a boundary with them. This is the fight of our life with this country. This is beyond politics. This is human rights. This is a human rights issue.
And they asked those listening to reach out to everyone they know, locally and nationally, urging them to speak up. This got my attention. It shook me up. One of the first thoughts I had was, where are our allies? Where are the mainstream mental health and addiction providers we have worked with for so many years during this attack? We need your voices and support in this moment. If you are wondering why I'm asking where you are, let me provide some context here. 15 years ago, when I started working in the addiction space, many mental health and addiction treatment providers were aggressively pursuing the LGBTQ+ community. Big players such as Betty Ford, Hazelden prior to their merge, Michael's House, and American Addiction Centers, just to name a few. They were all promoting their LGBTQ tracks. They targeted the LGBTQ+ community, those seeking recovery. They did this through advertisement. Some of them even rented hotel conference rooms and invited business development people so that they could promote their LGBTQ tracks. These providers and many others built landing pages on their sites promoting and marketing their tracks. The ads spoke about how they were here for our community, and they listed all the stats on how LGBTQ+ people struggle at a higher rate with addiction and mental health issues. However, these landing pages were hidden on their sites. This is still happening. I will address this in a later video. To be clear, this is not an attack on these providers, just an observation. Shortly after this initial targeting of the LGBTQ+ community, at that time, there was an intense interest in wanting to provide services to the trans community. Why this sudden interest? For many years, transgender individuals, specifically trans females, were forced to live on the fringes. They had very little resources, and many were relegated to do jobs that they probably didn't want to do. However, we began to see many transgender and transitioning individuals seeking treatment at that time being escorted to treatment by their parents, who just happened to have great insurance policies. This was a real shift. So my question is, where are you when the trans community in particular is being attacked and their existence is trying to be erased? Where are you when we need your support? Were the insurance policies what created this interest? God, I hope not. During this time, mental health and addiction treatment programs locally and nationally began requesting trainings on how to work with the LGBTQ better in a more effective way. Those of us working in the LGBTQ space at that time, we showed up. We created basic trainings for many of these providers. We worked with their clinicians. We taught them how to be more affirming. Many times we also provided information on how to make their admissions process and paperwork more inclusive, more affirmative, and less binary. Yes, we did that, and it wasn't that long ago. So I ask, where are you, our allies, in this space when our community is under attack, when the National Suicide Prevention Hotline for LGBTQ+ youth is yanked? Where are you? We noticed that many of you have been silent. We haven't heard from many of you in so long. I looked at a few Instagram accounts for some of these providers during the month of June. There were very few pride posts on many of them. I have been asking myself, are we only valuable to you when it benefits you and your business? For those of us who work specifically with the LGBTQ+ community, you know who you are. This is for you. This is for me. It is time to start having conversations with the people and organizations that called upon us to improve their services, that wanted us to refer, that invited and continue to invite us to their networking lunches. By the way, we thank you for that. And who we pay top dollars to attend their conferences. Let's remind these organizations and individuals about the injustices that are happening. Let's ask if their interest in wanting to help our community still exists, or if it has waned. Ask what they are doing to uplift and support our community. Remind them how important having them as allies during this time is. I don't believe in quid pro quo. However, we have to stop giving ourselves away to treatment programs, treatment center owners, mental health providers, and business development people. Yes, business development people who only see our suffering as a way to make money. We have a duty to protect our most vulnerable. This is a call to all mental health and addiction treatment providers and communities. We need you to join your voices with ours in speaking out and up. The time is now. We will be reaching out to many of you to continue this conversation and to build action plans to make a difference. Thanks for listening. And if you're on board with us still and want to help, please reach out to me. I am always here to answer questions and to listen. Also, if you like what you're hearing, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thanks, and I'm really looking forward to hearing from many of you and to speaking to you as well.